Austin. I'm following the series, becoming a winner. I'm dropping in safe spots to maximize my chances of winning, but I'm not getting any loot. It's just as I feared. You must be ready for episode 3, looting and loadouts. And moving forward, let's treat this series like a math class. I know, most of you hate math. Don't worry, I failed Algebra 1 3 times before finding out that I actually like math a lot. Anyway, what I mean is, let's incorporate lessons from the previous episodes into the current episode. That way we can be sure we both understand the previous material and that all the strategies work when they're paired together. Let's take a look at a gameplay I had today, which was a 5-kill win. Not very high, but it definitely demonstrates the principles I'm after. A recap. Judging by this plane path, where am I going to land? If you said this half of the map, you're correct. These would be the safest, Hydro, Asylum, and Turbine, but I'm going to go Train. I'm familiar with it. I think it's a good drop. There's not too much vertical play like Hydro where you can get completely boned by people camping up high, waiting for you to leave, and then shooting down on you. So, let's see how this goes. I mess up the drop. I drop a little too far out. That's okay. So one guy goes into the building, the main building. I start finding what I can. I have a sensor dart, which is a very good pickup in the beginning. And I already am formulating how I'm going to get that guy out of the building. I get Skulker, I pop that, pick up a Cordite, 9 bang, and the MAUG 12. I can't stress it enough. The MAUG 12 is the absolute best gun to start with, and perhaps the best gun in solos. Hands down. 2-shot kill from just about any practical range with a shotgun. A 1-shot if you're close enough. Very easy to use. Never have to aim down sight. So all you have to do is track people from the hip. And it's very easy to do that. This applies specifically to PC. It may not be as easy on console. But I'll tell you that it is the best gun for solos. And this is after a good bit of testing. Mostly through playing, but yeah. So I know he's in here. Get the sensor dart. Get him on there. Visual, 1 pump, 2 pump. Easy kill. He only did 20 damage on me. He didn't have the greatest guns, but even if he had an AR, I would have won that fight. Without armor. That's how good the MAUG 12 is. So I finish looting. Okay, and I get my second pickup here, the ICR. Now, of the ARs, I would say that the KN and the ICR reign supreme because of how versatile they are across ranges, with the Vapor coming somewhere in there, and then the Maddox just being the odd one out. It's more of an SMG. I mean, it's an AR, but it has a lot of SMG qualities. It shoots very fast. I think the drop-off is a little different. Don't quote me on that. And I just don't think it falls in the same class. So in my mind, the ideal loadout is one of those ARs, the KN or the ICR, and then a sniper or the MAUG 12. I'll always hold an AR because it's the king of across the ranges. And if all else fails, I can always fall back on that. Like, that will very rarely leave you in the dust. But the sniper and the shotgun have specific ranges. The shotty, you can't go much deeper than mid-range. Well, that's such an arbitrary distinction, but you can't really use the shotgun for any range other than what I just used it on. That's about the furthest I'm going to go with it, from the hip. And, well, even ADS'd. And then the sniper, it's just very easy to get punished for using snipers, at least in my opinion. If you're feeling confident, then I know a guy who pairs the sniper with the MAUG 12, and he's very good at it. If that's you, then that's you. That's not me. So I'm telling you that I think the most tried and true loadout would be an AR coupled with the MAUG 12. That's just me. Sometimes I will snipe, though. I'll pick up that the outlaw type snipers, the semis. The other one, I forget the name, but it's much better. Not the outlaw. Why can't I think it? Not the VKM either. Wow, whatever. It's like the M21 in the other games. Here I am looting. I'm letting the circle come in. Okay. I'm really not that concerned. I'm just gonna finish looting in here. Armor's very important. It reduces damage on 30%, 40%, 50%, levels 1, 2, and 3. Always make sure you're replenishing your armor. I switch for this just because it looks cool. And I also noticed that when I pick this up, why am I taking so long? I have 218 extra rounds. So I thought that was interesting. I stripped my old gun and pick up the attachments on my MOG. Now both my guns are fully kitted. I like the suppressor a lot. Some people think it makes it inaccurate, but I think it just hides you better in solos. At least the sound. It doesn't travel as far, because a lot of people will just thirst you based on that. Anyway, armor. Make sure you always have it, and keep a mental map of where fresh armors are. For example, I know that there's 2 level 2s back in train. If I get in a fight, you better believe I'm going back to get that. Armor's very important. No! Well, doesn't really matter. Okay, so I skip here. Let's look at this circle. Now, if you know me, you know I'm going to play the edge. That's what I do. Activate paranoia and mobility, because it's the furthest I'm going to be running for the rest of the game. And I make my push. Now, I think someone could be in here, and I sort of wait for the circle to push them out. Notice the circle's pushing, so if they're hiding, they're going to have to come out. But I didn't hear anything, even at the very... I probably could have waited a bit longer, but I didn't. I think the same thing here. This building's in, okay? So I don't want to give off any cues. I really don't, you know, I don't want to give them a freebie here, because I see a door on the roof was opened outward, and then this door is opened outward too, which is a sort of a shot against my theory that someone's in here, because this suggests that the person exited out, you know, they left. Either way, I wait, let the circle play it out, and I just have a hunch they're here. Plus I'm not very keen on pushing those other shots. New circle positions up, and I'm in decent shape for it, so I just wait. Hope the circle can push this person out, but it doesn't, and I wind up taking a tick of damage. Now notice I have the MOG out still. I'm so convinced they're in here, but spoiler alert, they're not. So here I'm thinking, okay, now the people are kind of getting far, so I pull out an ICR. I know he's up on this hill. Long gunfight. I missed a good bit of bullets, but easy kill overall. Luckily, I have a trauma. I'm going to loot him and take the dead silence. That's an easy pickup. In hindsight, I should have dropped that 3x. There's really no need for it. And then taken an extra utility nade or something. Did I drop a trauma kit? I'm not sure. It looked like I dropped something important. Anyway, so I get paranoid right here. And it's from the roof, and it's a sniper. I'm not very interested in challenging him. Look at his position. He's in the circle. I'm still not in. I have to figure out where I'm going to go. And he's got a sniper. He's on the roof. Plenty of cover. He waits for me, of course. And he knocks my whole armor off. So, I pretty much, I feel like this could be it right here. For some reason, he takes another one. Takes another one, misses. I try to back him off. Luckily, I have mobility, and I start pushing up. Now, I'm counting my lucky stars, because he shouldn't have let me get away. A good shot would have put me down there. Okay, so I'm creeping up on the edge of this circle here. And, I'm thinking someone's got to be right over here, just laying down or something. And if you listen... When is it? Yeah, I get a sound cue from that guy. Easy kill with the pump. See how nice it is? It's so solid. Okay, so now at this point, I'm just watching the circle. Now remember, that sniper. He was in the building, so I know that he's got to be in the building still. And the circle does not leave him any luck. He's got to come out of the building, because all of that is out. All the building is out. It's just the driveway. So I'm thinking the other person has to be... Sorry. Come on. Someone has to be over here, where my cursor is. So I'm thinking I'm good for this. I'm going to get armor out of this. I get the armor. There's also a sensor dart, which I missed. Or, no, I grabbed. Okay. So I'm definitely going to use that here. I need to find out where they are. I'm thinking there's good, because that guy won't be able to get it. And, of course, there is a guy coming out of the building. Kind of messed up a little. He had first shot on me. Even though I saw him first, I kind of was too slow. This is a big blunder here. I didn't pick that up. Fresh level 2 armor. That was a pretty big mistake. Anyway, I get the last guy on the sensor dart. I can also hear him with awareness. So, plenty of utility. I'm going to nade him out. I throw the nade incorrectly, though, and it lands on the wrong side. Go for some shots. I get a headshot, take his armor. And he's got reinforced. But notice the position. He has to push over this wall. He has to push me now. I'm in the circle firmly. Look. Now look at this setup. Look. Beautiful. He's got to come at me, and I have all that cover. So he was screwed there. Anyway, the big point in this was to drop safely, as you saw in the previous episode. Loot safely and use your utility. And don't engage in a bunch of gunfights. And as far as best loadout, it's pretty much always going to be the KN or the ICR and the MAUG 12 if you're on PC. That might switch a little. Avoid SMGs. Avoid specialties like rocket launchers. They're not that reliable. They're good for memeing on people in helicopters, but that's about it. Avoid SMGs because they just get completely outshined by the ARs and the shotguns in pretty much everything they try to do. When they mid-range, ACR is stronger, or the ARs are stronger, I keep saying that. And when you're close range, the shotties are stronger. I take the MAUG 12 over the AA12, but if you're not that confident in your hipfire ability, try the AA12. Other than that, guys, it's pretty easy just to use the tried and true loadouts. Always try to get your attachments. They seem to be pretty important, things like stock for recoil, and keep your armor up. It's important. Keep your armor up. And if I have one tip to sort of leave this on, it's take less engagements. You know, fight people with your headphones more than you're going to fight them with your emotions or charging at them. These are very powerful, and you can pretty much ferret out where everybody is just using sound, and that puts you at a huge advantage. Most people just aren't playing with that type of awareness, let alone picking that perk up, because I constantly get that perk off the ground. It's amazing. Get used to it, and episode 4 will be coming out shortly. Thanks for tuning in. Psych.